Hello everyone, good afternoon, welcome to the 2024 SSFA Men's Premier League Grand Final from the home of football in the Sutherland Shire, Seymour Shaw Stadium in Miranda. My name is Tony Dawson on behalf of Jum Media. Blake is your man operating the buttons and operating the sound and steering the camera in the right general direction, giving you the pictures this afternoon as we welcome you to the final live streaming match, the climax of what's been an interesting and incident-packed 2024 season. Our two grand finalists make their way out onto Seymour Shaw Stadium. The top two sides in the 2024 Men's Premier League, the unbeaten Cronulla Seagulls taking on the Kirrawee Kangaroos. They've proved to be eventually the two best sides in the competition all year, and it is fitting that they square off in the decider for the title this afternoon. Perfectly fine conditions have greeted us on the first day of spring in Sydney town. Quite a strong northwesterly breeze has blown up in the last hour to keep conditions on a very warm level. We're sitting on 24, 25 degrees right now in the Sydney metropolitan area, and the surface, as you can imagine here, being artificial surface, it hasn't looked better. So let's have a look at these two sides. The Cronulla Seagulls, unbeaten minor premiers, 16 wins, 4 draws, and 56 competition points, taking on the Kirrawee Kangaroos, who finished second in the competition, 12 wins, 7 draws, just the one defeat, and that was to North Caringbah during the regular season. 49 competition points. When these two sides met a fortnight ago in the major semi-final on this ground, in a match we streamed, the Cronulla Seagulls edged out the Kangaroos by a goal to nil. Since then, the Kangaroos won their way through to the grand final with a 1-0 win over North Caringbah in the preliminary final last week. The Seagulls not only looking for an undefeated season, they are looking to extend their winning run without defeat to 38 games in all competitions. Their last defeat was in the middle of 2023. In that time, they have won 2 back-to-back Bill Cullinan State Cups, a minor premiership, and a grand final. They have 13 survivors in their squad, backing up today from the side that edged out Como Ginelli in this match on this ground 12 months ago. It promises to be just as interesting a contest and probably just as tight a contest. The 4 previous meetings between these two sides have resulted in 2 draws and 2 Cronulla Seagulls wins. 2 scoreless draws in the regular home and away season in the Premier League in round 2 on Easter Monday and round 13, the King's Birthday weekend. The State Cup semi-final at Harry Denning was won by Cronulla 2-0 back on June 30, and then the major semi-final a fortnight ago. Our referee, Mr. Isaac Wassef, in his 301st first grade game in the Shire, gets us underway in this grand final for 2024. A triumph for Isaac Wassef as well. He's been around for over 15 years, the youngest ever first grade referee in the SSFA, and a triumph for him at this stage of his career. The Kirrawee Kangaroos won the toss, elected to kick off, and they are running from right to left, defending the Miranda Town Centre, Westfield end of the ground in the first half. In their all-red strip, the Seagulls, the defending champions, are running from left to right, defending the scoreboard end of the ground, the boulevard end, in the first 45 minutes in their traditional green and white bars, white shorts, and white socks. Both sides know each other so well. The key to this match, though, this afternoon is the fact that the Kirrawee Kangaroos have not scored a goal in their 4 previous meetings against the Seagulls this season. That's 360 minutes. That's a heck of a long time to go not scoring a goal against the same opposition. And if they can't improve on that this afternoon, it will be hard work for the Kangaroos to try and win this Premier League title. We do it all, of course, for our great phalanx of sponsors: Deploy Football, Green Options, Green by Nature, and Sophie B Photography. We will thank them more in detail before we end this broadcast this afternoon. Let's have a look at these two sides. number of additions to the Cronulla Seagulls by coach Mike Harrington. He's called on no less than 5 players who played earlier today in the reserve grade grand final to back up on the bench to help out in first grade. A reserve grade grand final won by the Seagulls over North Carringbar by 2-1. We'll run through both of those sides when time allows shortly. Here's Luke Gearin now for the Kangaroos. Joaquim tries to punch the ball forward, looking for Huertas. Huertas surrounded by green and white shirts. It's going to be quite willing in the early exchanges, no doubt, as Tristan Marr tries to start things going, and eventually he goes back to Jai Miller, the Rock of Gibraltar, at the back of this defence. The key in also, though, for the Cronulla Seagulls is their talisman, a man considered by many as the best player in the competition. Luke McCosker gets a start today in this squad. His first match in over 2.5 months. That's how important he is to this outfit. The long ball is pumped forward looking for Skillas. It's hacked away in the last line of defence. Looking for Kobe Sharp, who scored the goal in the major semi-final. A man who has kept Nathan Seller on the bench for this decider and forced Nathan Seller to play in the reserve grade earlier today when he scored the winning goal and won the Player of the Match award. The full squad, Ben Andrews, who also played 13 minutes in the reserve grade grand final. Ben Riach, Jack Scott, Luke McCosker, his first game in nearly 3 months. Kobe Sharp, Tom Nunn, Tristan Marr, Jai Mellor, Darcy Medway, Tom Stretton, Fabio Cavallo, Jeremy Lopez, and then from the reserve grade grand final, Nathan Seller, Jordan Harrington, Luke Sauer, Aaron Delfino, and Andrew Banning. The reserve goalkeeper, Old, was ruled out injured with the arm injury he suffered late in the reserve grade grand final. And the under-21s goalkeeper, Ollie Grosvenor, in shirt number 21, takes his place as the spare goalkeeper on the Seagulls reserve bench. Here's James Wood working his way forward now for the Kangaroos. And he gets his way through. Past 3 defenders, James Wood. His first foray deep on attack. Goes out of play eventually for a Kangaroos throw-in on that eastern side. Of course, Mike Harrington has overseen this 37-game unbeaten run. He would love to make it 38 and give them something to take the Champion of Champions or into the Champion of Champions tournament that Guy Mia will be taking part in, heading into the back end of September into October as the first past the post minor premiers in the SSFA Premier League this season. He would like to do so with a grand final victory as well. In the meantime, Kirrawee Kangaroos throw-in, taken short towards Sean Thomas. The ball is pumped into the middle. There's the header! And it's coming off the crossbar. The spectacular bicycle kick from Skillas. And that time it was Luke Huertas of all people getting in at the far post with the header. That 6-hour plus drought was almost broken that time. Went within the width of a crossbar from being broken. Eventually going out for a goal kick. So let's have a look at this Kirrawee Kangaroos side. Terry Dalbroy in goal. The rest of the squad announced today by coach Warren McCarthy. Luke Gearin, Jason Joaquim, Luke Huertas, Jordan Janich, Jackson Martin, Ben Nutter, Jamie Lancaster, Darren O'Brien, Sean Thomas, James Gickus, Tyler Corsten, Bailey Pickup, Joe Sherwin, Sam Fenning, Jason Skillas, Adam Johnston, Pat Morales back from suspension for this grand final, James Wood, Ben Smith. Here's the Kangaroos on attack again, Corsten with the cross in, Gearin with the header. And it goes wide of the upright. So the Kangaroos have started well here. And that's what they have to do to try and break this 6-hour drought that they have endured against this tough Cronulla Seagulls defence in their 4 previous meetings this season. Haven't won against the Seagulls in 2024. Nathan Seller scored the 2 goals in the State Cup, Bill Cullinan Cup semi-final at Harry Denning back at the end of June. Seller can't even get a start today. Kobe Sharp scored the goal in the major semi-final. But here's Skillis on the run. First time cross coming in. Cut out in the last line of defence, and it falls to Ben Riach for the Seagulls. The cool defence just pumped forward, but there's no one really forward up there other than James Wood. Gearan, who's expected to fill in the jack-of-all-trades positions as he generally does. Here's, though, Kobe Sharp away, one-on-one with the keeper. Delbroy comes out and makes sure of his clearance away. Kobe Sharp's pace has to be watched very carefully. In the meantime, though, it's Jeremy Lopez going back to Ben Andrews, who got a taste of match action with the 13 minutes he played in the reserve grade grand final when Jason Auld went off injured. An injury which has seen him now miss this grand final. Here's the Seagulls with one of their first forays forward, but it's cut out by Morales. And now Sean Thomas, bundled to the ground. Referee Wasef, let's play, go on. He'll want to keep the whistle in the pocket today in his first grand final as a centre man in his 301st first grade appointment, centre appointment. That's a fair effort in anyone's language as it's cleared away by Darcy midway out wide, looking for Jai Mellor. In fact, one thing we'll tell you about Isaac Wasef, when the opportune moment comes, long through ball looking for Kobe Sharp. It's one of the most obscure, unknown, but more humorous records that any referee I've ever heard of has put together. And it's a record that he's already surpassed in the last 30 seconds as we reach or get close to the 10-minute mark of this grand final. Good crowd has made its way in. An excellent crowd considering that a number of possible spectators not able to attend today because of other grand finals being played across the Shire, including the all-age third division grand final being played as the last match of the season in conjunction with this over at Kirrawee, where Lily Pilly are playing the Menai Hawks in the all-age third division grand final. We wish all of them the very best. Sherwin clears it away for the Kangaroos this time and just gets it out of there. And all other grand finalists in the Shire today who are playing across the various venues from Kirrawee through the Ridge and Warrenora Heights, hopefully you won your grand final. And of course, being Father's Day in Australia, to all the dads, welcome aboard. Great to have your company wherever you're watching, around Australia, around the town or around the world. We still know there are a couple of people watching in Europe very, very early on a Sunday morning. Must be approaching in some parts of Europe where we are told some people are watching, somewhere in the vicinity of 5 to 6 a.m. Sun is rising in those parts while they're watching this grand final. Welcome to you all. Sit back, relax with a beverage or a refreshment. Here's Corsten, surrounded by 3 green and white shirts, threads the needle down the line, but there's no one chasing that other than Jai Mellor. That little tidbit of information on referee Isaac Wasef until the opportune moment. Here's Mellor. The pass looking for Tom Nunn. Riach. And now back to Mellor again. This time the Seagulls can work their way forward, but Corsten's there to cut it out for the Kangaroos. There will be no quarter asked, none given here. These two sides who know each other so well. The experience, the average age of the Kangaroos, just a tick over 30. The window closing rapidly for this playing group to win a title. Here's the through ball, cut out in that last line by Jason Joaquim, out for a throw-in. On that eastern side, a few spectators have now made their way over into the sunshine on that eastern side to watch this grand final, the last match of 2024 for the SSFA, alongside the all-age third division match being played at the same time over at Kirrawee to bring down the curtain on the 2024 season, a season marred by wet weather, postponements, ground changes, abandonments and rescheduling. But we eventually have got to grand final day. Now here's Huertas for the Kangaroos, corralled against that eastern touchline. Working with Corsten. Gorston down the sideline, but Jai Mellor's back there to cover. All the way back to Ben Andrews. And he can start again, this time through Darcy Medway. Almost slipped on the surface here. Luke McCosker chosen on the bench. There was mail that he was going to start, but clearly coach Mike Harrington wants to keep McCosker up the sleeve. Keep the powder dry with him for the moment. Kobe Sharp now tries to send Cavallo away. Fabio Cavallo. Ball is cut out by Corston in the last line for a Seagulls throw. This Kirrawee Kangaroos defensive shape with only just one lone man up top in Huertas, challenging the Seagulls to break them down. Joe Sherwin gets the better of Kobe Sharp that time, who comes off second best. He stayed down there, Kobe Sharp, at the end of that challenge. He's to his feet slowly. It's worked out to Jai Mellor again. And the Seagulls can start again trying to break their way through this very tightly compact Kirrawee Kangaroos defence. Switch of play out wide to Lopez. Lopez inside now for Tom Nunn. No foul there. Referee says play on. Wasef. And now it's worked to Tom Nunn again through the middle. Tried to find Kobe Sharp. It was well cut out by Joe Sherwin that time. And Joe Sherwin slaloms his way through. He has support from Pat Morales. Welcome return to the side after the controversial 3-match suspension he had to endure in the match against Gaimea for the kicking charge against the Gaimea goalkeeper. Jokum with the throw then on this grandstand side. He goes down the line. Skillas with the header on. Sean Thomas playing in a forward role today. Ball falls out wide towards Corston. First time shot, not too far wide from Tyler Corston. Here's Sean Thomas, who is played in the back third this year. Was in that back third position that he was sent off for a second bookable offence in that State Cup semi-final at Harry Denning. The turning point of that match. Nathan Seller got his 2 goals after the dismissal. As we approach the 15-minute mark of the first half of this grand final. It's Mellor then for the Seagulls. He doesn't have a lot of options. Quite prepared to play the patient waiting game. Carvalho dispossessed by Luke Gearin. And now Morales. Morales gets the rebound. Out wide for Corston. Corston with the first time cross in. Gearin there! Just over the bar from Luke Gearin. Speaking of talisman, there's your talisman for the Kangaroos. The jack of all trades, just as adept in the back third at centre half as he is up front, and you can expect him to move around between all of those positions today, as well as perhaps mark referee Wasef's 301st game with an ongoing debate on the rules and laws of the game. Mellor. Now Cavallo has Morales to deal with. Back to Mellor. And now Tristan Maher out wide for Riach. Riach can work forward. Here's Tom Nunn. Rides one challenge. And eventually, referee Wasef waited for the advantage, eventually blew the free kick. So the ball comes across eventually through a bit of a relay, and it's going to be Ben Riach to set the free kick. 3-4 make it now 5 green and white shirts going up for this free kick at that far post. For Ben Riach to pump into the middle. Riach. There's the free kick. There's the back post arrival of Jai Mellor, but eventually goalkeeper Terry Delbroy makes it fairly comfortably his. And he will start short out wide to Joe Sherwin. Sherwin, who's more than adept at going forward, but he turns the football over this time now. Here comes Tristan Maher, looking for Tom Nunn with the cross. Cleared away by James Wood in the last line to Joaquin. He's bundled off the ball by Riach. No big pardons in that challenge. Here goes Tristan Marr, cleared away by Joe Sherwin. And only as far as Jai Mellor. Ben Andrews calls for it. Tries to get it going first time. Didn't quite strike it as well as he would have liked. Huertas eventually strayed into an offside position. So a free kick for the Seagulls. And certainly something about this grand final, the knowledge that these two sides have of each other. They certainly know referee Wassef as well, who's refereed in recent times both sides on multiple occasions on his way to game 301. Game 300 was the major semi-final a fortnight ago. One of only a handful of referees who have made it to the 300 game mark in the SSFA. Free kick is taken short. Back towards Medway, and he can start again towards Riach from Mellor. Riach, long ball forward, he's looking for Tom Nunn. He gets around Joaquin. Tom Nunn to the byline, and Delbroy read it well. He could see Kobe Sharp coming very quickly at that far post, and he cut it out beautifully. Joaquin under high pressure. Kieran, likewise, does well. Picked up by Huertas. He's under pressure as well. Morales cops one for his trouble. No free kick from referee Wassef. Goes out for a throw-in. Coach Warren McCarthy wants to argue the toss with referee Wassef from down there. He's not going to win that argument. Now it's Riach. Starting again for the Seagulls across to Mellor. Cavallo. Mellor again. He likes to get forward too when the opportunity arises. Cavallo. Again, this very compact Kirrawee defence read it well, and Sherwin finds Skeeter Skelas, who has to get around three white shirts, but meets his match in Carvalho, who dispossesses him cleanly in the tackle. Works out wide then to Jeremy Lopez. So both sides are just probing at the moment, like two boxers in a sparring session, just throwing out the jab at the moment. Waiting for the opening to eventuate. Andrews will start again back from Medway out wide to Mellor. He gets the long ball going down the flank, and it's not a bad one either. Looking for Lopez. First time shot comes in. Hits the post. No one there to meet the rebound. Well, there's the first real opportunity for the Seagulls. It was Jack Scott who got the first time shot in. Keeper Delbroy was beaten pointlessly, but not the right hand upright. So both sides have fired the warning shots across the bow in this first 20 minutes of the grand final. Hard to believe that we've already gone 20 minutes in this decider. The game has been played at a good pace. Scott, he goes all the way back now to Mellor, and Scott again. The heat will also be a factor, but both sides, certainly the Kangaroos will try and pace themselves to get through this heat and any extra time if required. Corsten is back there, but he put his teammate under pressure. And now it's worked forward. Out wide towards Cavallo, but he has to go back and start again through Mellor. Mellor with the ball forward, looking for Riach down the left. And Riach wins a corner. It came off James Wood last. So here's the opportunity for the Seagulls to work something from the set piece. They take it short whilst the defence tries to set themselves. Cross comes in, and eventually the clearance hits the crossbar before going over off Pat Morales. Although the referee, Isaac Wassef, points to the goal kick. Must have ruled it came off of Kobe Sharp. Took a deflection last on its way over the crossbar, or off the crossbar and out of play. So Delbroy with the goal kick, which takes short to James Wood. It's been a welcome return from injury in the last few weeks. Sean Thomas goes with the back pass, which places Delbroy under a bit of unnecessary pressure. Sherwin, he's also under some pressure, but he rides the challenge of Kobe Sharp eventually. And he looks for Sean Thomas, and he rides his challenge well. And he links up with Huertas away down the left. Skillis has made his run to the middle. He's the only one that has, though. Huertas has to hold it up in the surrounded by two green and white shirts, and eventually commits the foul. And referee Wasef gets in straight away and has a quiet word, a gentle, friendly word with Luke Huertas in game number 301. And he certainly stepped in all of about 9 or 10 metres that time, did referee Wasef, which apparently, according to records kept, is the total distance he travelled in an entire match in the First Division not so many years ago. Substitution made. James Gickass now comes on for the Kirrawee Kangaroos. It's hard to believe that a referee can only travel 10 metres in an entire game, but allegedly that's what did happen in a match in 2020. I'm sure that referee Wasef can either confirm or deny that when the opportune moment arrives. In the meantime, Kangaroos try and work it out from defence. He certainly made his way about 10 metres across very quickly that time to give the running caution to Luke Huertas. Here's Delbroy. Drives the clearance. Huertas does well to keep the ball in play. Now Ben Natter. His first injection. He was also brought on as a substitute. The luxury of having a Ben Natter coming on. But it's cut out in the last line by Scott. And the Seagulls can work their way into the clear. Through Tristan Marr, who makes his way forward. Tristan Marr dealing with James Wood, but the experienced James Wood comes away. Referee Wasef down on one knee to signal play on here. He's also getting involved in the occasion. As it's eventually worked all the way back towards Jai Mellor, but he only finds Pat Morales, and he in turn gives the ball back to Tom Nunn. Here's Tom Nunn working his way forward. Carvello got into an offside possession. The shot was wide. The flag was up nonetheless from the assistant on this western side. There wasn't much in that, and Luke Gearon has the first debate of the afternoon on the rules of the game with referee Isaac Wasef. You can bet your bottom dollar it won't be the last, particularly if this game stays as tight as it has for the first 20 minutes. No score in this first grade grand final in 2024 for Green Options and Green by Nature. The free kick needed to be taken from the correct artificial blade of grass, where James Wood will eventually take the free kick. A few more people now making their way in here to Seymour Shore, which is good to see. As Corsten tries to release his man down the flank, but that pass is going to be hit far too hard and keep going all the way over the byline for a goal kick as we pass the midway point of the first half in this grand final. And there's no score for Green Options. Pretty much as the form guide suggested it would be. Only 3 goals have been scored between these two sides in their previous 4 meetings this season. So given that form guide, you'd probably expect that only 1 goal will decide this match, as last year's grand final did. Ben Andrews was placed under some pressure that time to get the clearance away. Jack Scott didn't know where the ball was as he hit the deck, but eventually it was picked up by Lopez. He's forced back by Morales. Back to Ben Andrews. Sean Thomas is there in his face though, and Ben Andrews has to get the hurried clearance away. Throw in for the Kangaroos, which Natter takes quickly to Gearon. Luke Gearon forced back. And now here's the ball down the line for Tom Nunn to chase, who can't keep the ball in play. Goes out for a throw-in on this western side. First substitution now of this grand final to be made by coach Mick Harrington. And here is Luke McCosker, who hasn't played for over 3 months. The talisman of this club now injected into the fray to replace Fabio Carvello. A lot of people think that this grand final may rest on McCoskey's right boot or his vision. Time will tell. Here's Gearan though. Here's a through ball looking for Corsten. Corsten taken to the byline, gets the cross back. First time shot, well saved by Ben Andrews. Eventually it was Sam Fenning that made the first time shot. One of his first real involvements in the contest. But Ben Andrews equal to the task. As I mentioned, he played that 13 minutes in the reserve grade grand final. Just a nice taste of the grand final day atmosphere out here. As the Seagulls try and play it out from the back. Long ball forward looking for Kobe Sharp. Here's Tom Nunn. Nunn almost through. Around a man. And a second. Forced to the byline, Tom Nunn. And eventually, ball goes out of play for a goal kick. Tom Nunn couldn't keep it in play. It was well shepherded by Joe Sherwin. Out over the byline for the goal kick. So Terry Delbroy, who's had quite a good season between the sticks for the Kangaroos, he's established himself as the number one goalkeeper. And it's a hefty clearance too. Headed down to Jack Scott. Falls to James Gickas, who tries to get a first-time switch of play. Audacious cross out wide to Tyler Corsten, who was never going to catch that ball. Goes out of play for a Seagulls throw-in, and there's a few more spectators slowly but surely making their way across to that eastern side. So it's a pretty, now, decent crowd for this first grade grand final. Gearan tries to keep the ball in play and stop the attacking thrust down the left. He does the latter but can't do the former. Goes out for a throw-in. A Seagulls throw-in, that is. Gearan there with the header again. Sees it out for another throw-in as we approach the half-hour mark in this grand final. Quite a jovial atmosphere amongst this excellent-sized crowd here at Seymour Shore. A number of the players who played in the earlier grand finals have hung around to watch the action in this fair. Now it's Kobe Sharp, brought down unceremoniously by James Wood that time. It's a fairly easy free kick for referee Wasef to give in game number 301. So a little placard up for him from the Referees Association. 300 plus one in the lead up to kick off as well. Certainly a popular member of the fraternity. He's got some adjudication to do here from this free kick as there are 6 green and white shirts making their way forward for this one. Which Jai Mellor will take. Oh, sorry, Jai Mellor's gone up for this one. Looking for the head of McCosker, headed away this time by Gearan. And as far as Ben Riach, who took the free kick. Here's McCosker, his first touch. Riach, first time cross. Headed away by Gearan. First time shot, well wide from Tom Nunn. So we've reached the half-hour mark then in this grand final in the first half. And pretty much as we expected it to be, very much a nip and tuck contest. With no score between the Seagulls and the Kangaroos on the green option scoreboard. Morales from the goal kick, worked forward by Riach. And Delbroy calls Natta out of play. He says, I've got the ball covered. So he does. This breeze is very much now, if anything, blowing at the back of the Kangaroos in the first half, but it's more blowing across the field than anything else. Here's Wood with the header. Gearan trying to bring the ball to deck. Does so successfully out wide to Sean Thomas. Sean Thomas guarded by his opposite number 8, McCosker, and now Sherwin. Sherwin goes back to James Wood, and now they can start again with the slow, patient build-up. Gearan and Wood. Pass looking for Sean Thomas, who's brought down from behind. There's no foul from referee Wasef. Ball is attempted to be won back, but eventually it falls to a green and white shirt, and we go back to Darcy Medway to start again. Mellor. And now McCosker with that distribution skill that he has, wanting a return pass from Riach. It's not forthcoming. The long ball is pushed forward, but Natter is there. And Gickas, eventually there is a free kick to the Kangaroos for an off-the-ball infringement. So the Kangaroos will have the free kick just on the edge of their defensive third. And Nathan Seller getting a cheer from the Seagulls supporters down in front of us. He may be an X-factor in this grand final yet, having already won a Man of the Match award in the reserve grade grand final earlier. First time cross comes in, headed away down to Skillas. It's left for Ben Natter. Skillas eventually comes out off the Cronulla Seagulls defender and out for the throw-in on this western side. As we draw towards the last 12 and a bit minutes of this first half, the electronic scoreboard can also tell that to the crowd as it's headed away by Mellor down towards Tom Nunn. Getting in strong in the challenge, Joaquin can't keep the ball in play. And it goes out for a Cronulla Seagulls throw-in on this western side. Yes, it's been one heck of an afternoon for Nathan Seller already. Scored the winner in the reserve grade. Throw-in goes down the line to Tom Nunn, though, the man who's kept him out at this side. In fact, it was Tristan Maher. He's one of the forward three that have kept Seller out at this side. He can't keep the ball in play this time, though. Tristan Maher goes out for a throw-in. Another Kirrawee Kangaroos throw-in, which Ben Natter takes quickly. Luke Guerin corralled to the ground by Jack Scott. There's no foul there forthcoming. Throw-in for the Seagulls. Here's Mellor. Mellor making his way through the middle. Tries to get the pass going to Kobe Sharp. Guerin picks up the rebound. And Gickas sends Sean Thomas on his way, who's gone back to his central defensive role. And here's Corsten away down the flank. Two red shirts in the middle to aim at. Thomas with the link gets the first time cross in. And that is not going to find anyone remotely close as it sails harmlessly over the byline for another goal kick. We draw towards the back end then of this first half, and you just get the feeling that, as has been the case in most of their meetings this season, only the odd goal may decide this already. Long ball from Mellor, but Sherwin's got that covered all the way back to Delbroy. So both sides very much allowing the crowd to sit and take a breath and wait for the key moment to come, whenever that is. Guerin back to Sherwin. Sherwin looking out wide for Natter. Natter wanted a free kick and he gets it this time, with Lopez coming in with the studs half showing in that challenge. So it's a free kick for the Kangaroos, which Gickas will take quickly when the mark is established. And here comes Nathan Seller onto the field to replace Kobe Sharp, man of the match in the reserve grade grand final. And now on to see if he can weave some magic in first grade. He did score the 2 goals against this Kirrawee Kangaroos outfit in the State Cup semi-final, on their way to the Bill Cullinan State Cup for a second time. Gickas picks up this ball in the middle. Back to James Wood. Wood to Guerin. Back to Gickas. Switch of play out wide. Looking for Sean Thomas. He can't keep the ball in play. So the two main combatants of that State Cup semi-final are now in battle out there. Another substitution this time for the Kangaroos. It's going to be Darren O'Brien to take his place on the field, and Tyler Corsten to take a breather after 35 minutes. He's had his moments, Tyler Corsten, and had some lively moments as well, and I'm sure Coach Warren McCarthy will bring him back later in the contest, given the still very warm conditions out there, still sitting on around 24 degrees, amongst the warmest conditions that both sides have endured this season. They certainly haven't played in this sort of heat for a while. Ball goes out of play. Throw in on eastern side in the hands of Sean Thomas, as we now work through these last 10 minutes of the first half. Another Kirrawee Kangaroos throw, won by the diminutive Seagulls. Diminutive in size, but certainly not in skill. Some people believe he's the best player or most skillful player in the competition. Long throw from Seagulls. Looking for the header of Gearin, but it falls to a green and white shirt. There's a handball there. Forearm was used. Luckily, for Ben Riach, it was just outside the penalty area. But here is the opportunity. There's no shortage of takers for the Kangaroos from this dead ball situation from such a close distance to goal. Any number of players could have a crack from here. A number would fancy themselves. Sam Fenning's in the vicinity. Luke Gearin will certainly blast it from there if he chooses to do so. Seagulls can bend it and dip it from there. But Gearin looks like he wants to take the shot. But Seagulls is close at hand. Wall has set back the required 10 paces or 10 yards by referee Wasef. Seagulls. He may want to try and dip it over the wall here. But it's Gearin to blast it. And Gearin scores! The drought has been broken. And Luke Gearin opens the scoring in the grand final with an absolute thunderbolt that gave Ben Andrews no chance. It's taken them 398 minutes. 6.5 hours to score a goal this season against this defence. But the free kick from Luke Gearin has done the trick for the Kangaroos, and they take the lead in the grand final 6.5 minutes out from half-time. Green option scoreboard. Cronulla Seagulls 0, Kirrawee Kangaroos 1. Now here's the challenge for the Seagulls. The Kangaroos are past masters at protecting leads with their tight, compact defence. And now that they've got the lead, the men in red have this game on their terms for the moment. Here's a through ball though. First time shot is there, but it's well comfortably collected by Dalbroy. And in saying that, certainly the Seagulls have their best first choice players out there in the likes of McCosker and Seller to see if they can unlock this Kirrawee Kangaroos defence, who they've only scored 3 goals against in 4 games this season themselves. It's Lopez with the throw then on this western side. It falls, comes off of Tristan Maher and out for a throw in on this western side that Ben Natter will take. Natter with the long throw down the line. Morales. Seagulls. Through ball was blocked. Gearin with purpose gets in there. First time cross in. First time shot. Hits the crossbar. Bounced away. Didn't cross the goal line. Danger's not yet cleared yet. Riach heads it away. Wood gets in there. And now on the counter, Riach can perhaps break free. But Sean Thomas is back there to cover. It was Fenning of all people that got the shot in. Ben Andrews was beaten, hit the underside of the crossbar and bounced out. Now Morales can work their way forward again. Looking for Seagulls. The ball is cut out. Scott with the back pass that didn't quite work all that well. Seagulls is more than happy to let the ball bounce out of play for a throw in. The Kangaroos certainly have the head of steam up right now. In front on the scoreboard and on top in the general position of play, which is a rare thing can be said against this Seagull side this season. The header from Morales from the throw-in eventually is picked up by Ben Andrews. I can only remember one half this season where the Seagulls have been outplayed, and that was a second half against Como Janelli in a night game mid-season at 5 Sports Caringbah when they were held to a draw. Some would say that in the last round catch-up match against Guy Mia that they met their match, but to be fair, that night referee Harrington rested 10 regular first graders. Played the reserve grade side, so you really can't count that as being outplayed. The full first grade side have faced very few challenges like this season. As we run down towards half-time, as Wood clears it away, they've got a challenge here. Skillas knocks it forward. It goes all the way back to Ben Andrews. Last year in this grand final, the Seagulls had to work hard against the run of play. Now here's Seller away. The flag had stayed down, but Natta had him covered. That's the danger that Nathan Seller brings. He's got the confidence up with that full game earlier today. The winning goal. The man of the match award in the reserve grade grand final. Mellor. You can go all the way back to Riach as we draw towards the last 2.5 minutes of this first half. Tom Nunn, he's got space to operate in. McCosker, can he weave some magic? Ma, out wide, looking for Lopez. Lopez with the cross, cleared away by Luke Gearin in the last line. So he's doing it at both ends at the moment. The skipper for the men in red, he concedes the corner. With under 2 minutes remaining in this first half, we've got a second ball out there on the field that needs to be removed. Eventually it is. And eventually the corner will be taken by Tristan Marr. Only 4 green and white shirts have gone up, but Seller is one of them. To the back post. There's the header. There's the equaliser. They only needed one. Didn't matter if they only had 4 going up. They only needed one from the corner. It was a sure header from Jack Scott. And Jack Scott equalises in the grand final in the shadows of half-time. Serious ball watching, unfortunately, at the back for this vaunted Kirrawee Kangaroos defence. And Jack Scott was able to pierce through with the header with pinpoint accuracy. 1 minute remaining in the first half. We're back on level terms in this grand final now. The green option scoreboard, Cronulla Seagulls 1, Kirrawee Kangaroos 1. And interesting to note that it's 2 set pieces that have decided that have brought about the 2 goals so far. Here's now a through ball. First time looking for Skillas. And there's Gearin again. And Andrews can't keep the ball in play. Concedes the corner. In the last minute of regulation time in this first half, before any stoppage time that referee Isaac Wassef would want to add. Skillas with the corner, goes deep. Looking for Morales. There's some jostling there, but it's cleared away by Jai Mellor. Only as far as Ben Nasser. Natta looks forward for Morales. Morales tumbles to the ground alongside Lopez. No foul there. Referee lets the play go on, Wassef. Morales goes down to the ground and he gets the free kick. We now start stoppage time at the end of the first half, of which there will be 1 minute. 1 minute on the board of stoppage time at the end of this first half. So here's Gikas with the free kick. In this last minute of the first half that has had its moments. Gikas. Cleared away eventually by Tristan Marr. Only as far as Joe Sherwin. Sherwin, first time cross, and that's come off the head of Lopez, out for a corner. 30 seconds left in stoppage time at the end of this first half. There's enough time for the Kangaroos to pop across in from the set piece. It's Pat Morales to take the corner. 5 red shirts are up there. Goes to the far post. Headed away by Nathan Seller. And in the end, it's kept in play, but only just. Falls to Sean Thomas, tries the cross again. It's blocked and out of play for a throw-in, for which there won't be any time. Referee Isaac Wassef blows up half-time, right on the end of that 1 minute of stoppages. And it was the first half that started perhaps slowly, both sides probing, but it came to life in the last 5 minutes of the first half. The Luke Gearin free kick blasted home from just outside the Cronulla Seagulls penalty area was met by a Jack Scott header from a corner in the last couple of minutes of the first half to level scores. Both sides have had their moments, and both sides will be looking to press home any advantage they can in the second half of regulation and perhaps for any extra time beyond that. It's an intriguing 2024 men's first grade grand final in the SSFA Premier League. The green option scoreboard at half time is Cronulla Seagulls 1, Kirrawee Kangaroos 1. welcome back for the moment. We will return to live vision shortly. We're still in the half-time break here in the 2024 men's first grade grand final. Half-time, Cronulla Seagulls 1, Kirrawee Kangaroos 1. Just a quick wrap of events earlier today on grand final day. Reserve grade grand final finished. Cronulla Seagulls 2, North Caringbah Redbacks 1. Nathan Seller named the player of the match. The women's grand final, Melody Nelson got the goal in the 83rd minute. Gaimea United 1, North Caringbah Redbacks 0. The player of the match was announced as Ellie Campbell, the, in some aspects, unfortunate goalkeeper for the North Caringbah Redbacks. The shot was fumbled for the winning goal that decided the contest, but certainly had a strong game, was the busier of the two keepers, and certainly, most certainly, earned her player of the match award. The season awards in the women's competition were also announced today. The golden boot for the most goals was a tie, a joint win between Millie Campbell, the 18-and-a-half-year-old, 19-year-old youngster from Bangor, and Michaela Fernley from the Georges River Tigers. And actually, no surprise, the player of the year in the women's competition was won by Eden Stoddard of the Miranda Magpies. She was certainly a standout for them this season in their run to the preliminary final. Now, both sides have made their way back out onto the field for the start of this second half. And there will be full awards announced at the end of this match. Presentations at the end of each game. You may see them on this service. Replays of the presentations being packaged and will be put together on this streaming feed at jummedia.com.au and shirefootball.com.au and shirepremierleague.com.au, both on the SSFA Premier League links later after full time today. In the meantime, we're back out on the field, and our referee, Isaac Wassef, gets us underway for the second half. Who will blink first here with scores level? Cronulla Seagulls kicking off now, running from right to left, defending the goal to our right at the southern end. At the Miranda Town Westfield Shopping Centre end of the ground in their green and white bars or hoops and white socks, white shorts. And the Kirrawee Kangaroos in all red, running from left to right, defending the goal to our left, the northern end, the scoreboard end, the boulevard end in the second 45 minutes. Here's the nice switch of play immediately for the Seagulls at the start of the second half. For Lopez, who finds Riach. Riach, first time for Tom Nunn, but getting in there first was Gikas for the Kangaroos, who very quickly were able to put men behind the ball. One of them was Sean Thomas. Tom Stretton getting in there. Came out off of Tom Stretton out for a throw-in on this western side. Yes, we do thank our phalanx of sponsors this season. Their second year at Jum Media covering the SSFA. Sophie B Photography, proud local businesswoman, 15 years in business this year. For your next photo opportunity, whether it's personal, business or romantic, you could do a lot worse than give Sophie at Sophie B Photography a try. Here's a first time pass from looking for Gikas, but in the end it is cleared away by Tom Stretton out for a throw-in. Here's Sophie B Photography. For your next function or your next photo opportunity, give Sophie a try at www.sophieb.com.au or via email at photo@sophieb.com.au as Gearan gets up for the header. This time it's straight to Ben Andrews in the Cronulla Seagulls goal. www.sophieb.com.au or via email at photo@sophieb.com.au, and you could be one of the 200 plus businesses part of the Open for Business initiative that Sophie started in the pandemic and still continues today. Sherwin getting up there with the cross in. Gets the second bite of the cherry. Morales tries a pass off the outside of the boot. Blocked by the Cronulla Seagulls defence. As far as Kobe Sharp. Now it's worked forward looking for Carvalho, but it's cut out by Skillas, but he can't keep the ball in play. A couple of interesting moves from the Seagulls. Nathan Seller brought off in the half-time break. He didn't start the second half. He reintroduced Kobe Sharp back into the fray to partner Tom Nunn up front. First time cross, headed away by James Wood. And in the end, falls to Tom Nunn. Gets the return. Hacked away in no uncertain terms by Wood. As far away down the other end of the field as possible. So once again, the tactics, at least for this first opening period of the second half, for the Kangaroos to maintain this very strong, tight, compact defensive formation. And ask the Seagulls to penetrate the hard way or go through this defence the hard way around them. Which they tried with that through ball down that right corridor, but there's no one chasing it except James Wood, who keeps it in play. Sherwin now. And that pass doesn't find the mark of Huertas and goes out of play for a throw-in. A few more people have made their way in, perhaps some who have been involved or have seen grand finals elsewhere today in the Shire, making their way across here to see the last grand final of the season. Jack Scott, the goal scorer, working hard amongst traffic. But in the end, he can't beat Ben Natter. But Natter's pass finds a green and white shirt. First time cross, finds Tom Nunn. But Delbroy's there, clatters into Tom Nunn, picks up the ball at the second attempt, and referee Wassef waves play on. Now it's worked forward towards Sam Fenning. Through ball. Tom Stretton is there in the last line of defence. He could hear the footsteps coming of Darren O'Brien. Cleared away though towards Kobe Sharp, but Morales gets in there in front of him. Sherwin. Back to James Wood. Gearan to calm things down. Now Sean Thomas. Darren O'Brien. Cleared away by Jai Mellor. And out for a throw-in on this western side. Which Sean Thomas will take. Goes the long throw into the centre of the ground to Joe Sherwin. And Joe Sherwin can work his way forward, which he likes to do. He's got some room to work with here. Natter with the cross. Can't control it at the vital moment. It goes out for a goal kick. Which will be taken comfortably by Ben Andrews. We will be thanking our phalanx of sponsors in more detail as the second half progresses. This being our last live streaming broadcast for the season in the SSFA. Header is brought down by James Wood. Back to Gearan. And back to Sherwin. And Morales under pressure. Two white shirts around him. Morales gets help from Gearan. And now Skillas. Skillas has so much time on the ball at times. Back to Ben Natter and now Gearan. And Natter again. Gikas under pressure. Got the flick through to Morales. Morales also under pressure. Dispossessed by Tristan Maher that time. It goes back to Jai Mellor. And the Seagulls can start again. Maher. Through ball. Doesn't find Kobe Sharp. Sean Thomas, though, has to be careful here. Does well. He finds O'Brien. And now Sherwin. Back to Gearan. And back to Delbroy. Yes, we do thank Deploy Football for their support of the Premier League, the support of football in Sydney and New South Wales and of these broadcasts. It's the second of our major sponsors this season. Here's the Seagulls working their way forward, though, with Carvalho. First time cross comes in. Delbroy does well. It was an awkward one for him to stop and eventually take. Sean Thomas now. First time pass doesn't find the mark, though. It's more about More than balls at Deploy Football. All your coaching gear, all your playing gear. Bibs, tracksuits, coaching bibs, coaching nets, little mini hurdles, shirts, playing and training, and footballs as well, including the Envision brand that you're seeing right now, one of only 2 brands that has the FIFA Pro Mark seal of approval. It's a good time to perhaps get yourself kitted, sorted out for your summer competitions, your 6-a-side competitions. Here's Tristan Marr working his way through the middle, but the challenge is strong from James Wood in the last line. Wood, wrestling with Tristan Marr, wins the goal kick. Yes. The Envision brand, you're seeing now, it's one of only 2 brands that have the FIFA Pro Mark seal of approval. And you can get those as well. All at Deploy Football, deployfootball.com. Or give them a call, 1-800-384-327, 1-800-384-327. We thank them for their support in 2024. Gearing down the line here. Can't find Skillas, goes out of play for a Cronulla Seagulls throw, which is not taken from the correct blade of grass according to referee Isaac Wasef, who's certainly kept a firm control on things in game number 301, his first grand final. In fact, he asks play to go back about the 9 or 10 metres he allegedly ran in a game, in an entire game once upon a time. I refuse to believe that. I'll have to speak to him about that at some other time. Our referee can only travel 9 or 10 metres in an entire 90-minute game of football. It's beyond me. Here's Morales. He's just run 10 metres on his own that time. Skillas. Morales. First time ball. Here's Gikas with the shot. Fairly tame one at the end of the day. Comfortably picked up by Ben Andrews. But slowly but surely, Kangaroos trying to work their way on top again here as they did in the lead up to the free kick from which Luke Gearon gave them the lead late in the first half. Now it's Andrews back across to Jai Mellor again. Andrews eventually has to get his clearance away, headed down by Wood. That's going to go out of play for a throw-in on that eastern side. So once again, first 10 minutes of this second half following the pattern of most of the first. Both sides probing for the opening, but cancelling each other out for the most part. Skillas is there. Falls to Ben Riach, and he goes all the way back to Ben Andrews again. Kangaroos playing a high defensive line, sitting on the halfway line at the moment, inviting through balls like this for Tom Nunn. But Sean Thomas has got that one covered eventually, but the idea was good. And eventually does go over the byline for a Kangaroos goal kick, which they can start this very slow, patient build-up again through Joe Sherwin, who likes to get forward, and he gets forward here with some space. He finds Morales. Morales tries to lob the pass for Fenning. Fenning gets onto this one. Here goes Darren O'Brien. Darren O'Brien, the nutmeg dummy. He nutmegged himself at the end of the day, not Tom Stratton. Thomas gets in there with the clearance. Ball's not out of danger yet for the Seagulls. O'Brien works through the middle. Sherwin up in support. Morales through ball. First time looking for O'Brien. The flag goes up this time, even though Skillas missed the cross coming through. Darren O'Brien can't believe the call. He gesticulates to the assistant on this western side, but he's not going to win that argument. The ball goes out for a goal kick. Now Luke McCosker, who was brought off in the half-time break, is in deep discussion with coach Spider Harrington on the sideline here next to the in the technical area, which suggests that he'll be brought back into the fray shortly. Brought back for his first game in over 3 months in this grand final. Long clearance, headed away by Ben Natter. Bounces forward, Natter gets in there again. But the Seagulls get in front of him, but James Wood, as always, sure in the tackle. Sees the ball out of play for a Seagulls throw in on that eastern side, which is taken short to the goal scorer, Jack Scott, who loses possession. That's the Cronulla Seagulls goal scorer, who equalised in the shadows of half-time. McCosker now warming up properly, so he'll be thrown into the fray shortly by Coach Harrington. For his part, Coach McCarthy very much with his thoughts at the moment, watching carefully at the edge of his technical area. Wood. Back across to Sean Thomas. O'Brien. In the end, James Wood had to get a move along to get that clearance away. Down to Riach. Morales gets in there, as does Scott. Falls to Carvalho. Morales stayed down after that challenge. Here's now Tristan Marr working his way forward. Tom Nunn overlapping on the left. Tom Nunn through ball for Marr, but in the end, the experience of Luke Gearan saw that ball shepherded out of play for a goal kick. And now here's Luke McCosker coming on for Tom Stretton. Tom Stretton not happy. He's not quite himself at the moment as he leaves the field. Did have a half limp too as he left, but perhaps just more disappointment than anything else that he didn't contribute as much as he would have liked. But he certainly has kept his end of the bargain so far, at least in this second half. Delbroy then with the goal kick as we reach the hour mark in this grand final. Wood tries to lob it forward, hit it down by O'Brien. Sean Thomas does well to keep it in play. But Thomas has to go all the way back to Delbroy again. Sherwin now. Shadows lengthening across the Seymour Shaw complex as you'd expect at this time. Here's Morales in the middle of the park. This is dangerous. Morales looking for O'Brien with the through ball, and O'Brien didn't time the run. But if Pat Morales is given that much space to operate by this Seagulls defence, they may live to regret it. They're not careful. He's someone that does like to go forward. Now here's a through ball for Kobe Sharp. Goalkeeper Delbroy comes out and he makes a almost reflex save off the head and out for a throw-in on the eastern side. Delbroy came out before acceptances that time, but he made the most of his encroachment outside of his penalty area as Kobe Sharp tried to chip over him with some force. Throw-in is taken short, and again, fairly deep all the way back to Jai Mellor. McCosker now, his first touch since coming back on. Finds Tom Nunn. Tristan Marr tries it from there, from long range. And all he succeeds in doing is striking the scoreboard without doing any damage. Now, it looks like possibly another substitution for the Kangaroos. Yes, it will be eventually a substitution. No, in fact, they want another ball because that one that was struck over the crossbar has ended up in an area that is not accessible to anyone except the groundsman who's on his day off. He's certainly not here. So that ball will be left in a little pocket of the ground to be picked up perhaps sometime tomorrow morning when the groundsman turns up to work. Morales tries the through ball, but it's cut out by the goal scorer, Jack Scott, and he's got Riach away down the left. Riach gets around his man. There's no foul there according to referee Wassef. Referee, let's play go on. Kangaroos come away with Thomas. Riach has stayed down though, and so under the sportsmanship code, Thomas backheels the ball out of play. That gives us enough time to let you know about our other major sponsor, the sponsor of the league. Green by Nature, Green Options. They trade under both names. Greenkeepers, horticulturalists, landscapers, irrigation experts without peer. They look after such stadiums as Central Coast Stadium, Gosford, the home of the double A-League champions and AFC Cup winners, the Central Coast Mariners, NIB Park, Perth, the home ground of the Perth Glory, and mooted home ground of the new Western Bears Rugby League franchise, as well as being awarded Groundsman of the Year for Sydney and Melbourne grade cricket 3 years in a row. They can also look after your front lawn or backyard with the same professionalism. 1300 647 367 or greenoptions.com.au or greenbynature.com.au are their contacts to see what they can do at your place with your front lawn or backyard. From the stadiums to the front lawn and backyard. Green Options, Green by Nature, proud supporters of the SSFA and of these live streaming broadcasts. And we thank them for their support in 2024 as the ball goes out of play. On that eastern side, interestingly, while Riach was down receiving attention, almost to a man, the entire 20 other field players raced to the touchline to get a drink. So that gives you an idea of just still how oppressive the heat is out there for these players. It's worked forward to McCosker this time for the Seagulls. Now it's Tom Nunn. The back heel for McCosker. And McCosker gets around his man. The clever through ball inside for Tom Nunn. It was grabbed by the collar by Luke Gearin. There's no foul there from referee Wasef. Morales plays on. And now here's some room for O'Brien to work in on the counter. 2 on 4 though. He has to hold it up and wait for Sherwin to Gickas to support him. Here's Skillas out wide on the left. James Skeeter Skillas. Well closed down by Ben Riach that time, but he gets the ball back. Skillas gets the cross in. Cleared away, though, by Darcy Medway, only as far as James Wood. Ben Natter. And now Skillas has gone down with cramp in that back corner. And almost to a man, another 3 or 4 Kangaroos either go to their haunches, stretch their hamstrings and calves, and put their hands on their heads. This heat, given that they are certainly a much older side by average age in comparison to the Seagulls, that also might be a factor for the Kangaroos. As we work our way through this second half, 20 minutes gone on the Green by Nature Green Option scoreboard. No change to the halftime score in this first grade decider. Still, Cronulla Seagulls 1, Kirrawee Kangaroos 1. So mentioned that we will be packaging presentation ceremonies of all 3 grand finals today, and we'll be putting them up on the Jum Media website, the Shire Premier League website, shirefootball.com.au as well, for you to look at a little after full time today. Skillas is still down receiving attention for this cramp in back play. And he now has to leave the field. Tyler Corsten goes on as his replacement. And they'll need Skillas back in the fray at some point in these last 25 odd minutes. And maybe, just maybe, any extra time that we may have at our disposal. Scores are level, remember, 2 by 10 minutes each way of extra time will be played. And then, if scores are still level after that, there's no count back today. Here's a back pass that Wood has to work very much in keeping out from the pace of Tom Nunn. Sean Thomas gets onto them. Now Corsten. Corsten for Fenning down this touchline, but he's well shepherded off the ball by Jai Mellor. Fenning comes again at him. Mellor stands strong and finds Riach. No free kick. Referee Wasef is playing advantage. And now here's Kobe Sharp breaking clear. He goes down, but there's no foul there. Ball goes out of play for a Kangaroos throw-in on that eastern side. Still quite warm, still sitting on that 24, 25 degree mark here at Seymour Shore. Certainly been perfect conditions for watching football. Pleasant spring, almost summer-like conditions here today, which is ironic given how much rain we've had and how many washouts we've had this season. Now it's Marr, first time with Tom Nunn. Tristan Marr, McCosker. The silky smooth play, but Gearin gets in there. He's dummied. He didn't know who was going to clear it, whether it was him or James Wood. They both looked at each other. And in the end, Wood cleared it out for a throw-in, which eventually is intercepted by Morales. Riach is with him. So too is Jai Mellor. Corsten gets in there with the challenge. No place for the faint-hearted there. Back pass is a dangerous one to Ben Andrews, who takes no chances. Darcy Medway put him under pressure. So it's a throw-in for the Kangaroos on this western side near the corner flag. Sean Thomas comes across to take it. He'll go the long one here by the looks of things, or he wants to go for the long one. There's no one running though. Eventually it's headed on by Fenning. Headed away towards Ma. Morales is with him. So too is Wood. Morales wins the ball back. Pat Morales. And the ball is eventually pushed through by Fenning back to Ben Andrews, who gets the clearance away. He's looking for one of Cavallo. Cavallo stops and props. He's dealing with Ben Natter out there. Back to Tom Nunn. McCosker. The through ball for Tom Nunn is a beauty. Tom Nunn with the shot. Oh, what a goal, Tom Nunn. You can put that down to McCosker. That's why he's rated one of the best players in the club. The through ball from Luke McCosker was inch perfect, and Tom Nunn has done the rest. And the minor premiers go to the front for the first time in this grand final, with 21 minutes remaining on the clock. You don't need to give Luke McCosker and Tom Nunn half an inch. That's what they do. They burn you. And Tom Nunn, as he did in the major semi-final, gives the Seagulls the advantage. Green options scoreboard. Cronulla Seagulls 2, Kirrawee Kangaroos 1. Substitution made. Luke Huertas on the field for the Kangaroos whilst that goal was being scored on their way back for the restart. Gearan, now Morales. Well, they have to throw caution to the wind now. Huertas, Morales, Huertas on the double wrap around. Natter in support, gets the cross in. Headed away in that last line by Jack Scott. Goes back to Sherwin. Sherwin working his way forward. Tries the cross, comes off the back of Fabio Cavallo. Cavallo and Sherwin tangle out there. And eventually it's cleared away by Lopez, only as far as James Wood. Now Gikas. Gikas trying to work his way forward, but now the Seagulls playing the Kangaroos-like defensive game on the men in red themselves. Switch of play out wide for Sean Thomas. Here's Thomas, gets the cross in, and no one was there to meet it. It was tantalising, it was teasing the four red shirts that were there as Carvalho cleans up and feeds Jeremy Lopez. Lopez tries the long ball forward looking for Kobe Sharp. McCosker gets in there with purpose. McCosker, there's the vision, there's the through ball out wide for Carvalho. There's two green and white shirts in the middle. Eventually it goes out off of Pat Morales for a throw-in on that eastern side in that northeastern corner. Inside the last 20 minutes now of this grand final. Remarkably, we may be headed to a situation where all three grand finals are decided in the regulation distance today. But still is a long way to go yet. 18 minutes is an eternity in this Premier League. But the Seagulls were asked the challenge, asked the question when they went behind, and so far they've answered it. And for the Kangaroos, it's now their turn to respond. Header is down by Darcy Medway. It falls to Carvalho. Switch of play headed away by Ben Natter. Only as far as Jack Scott, who scored the first goal today. He's got two red shirts around him though. Does well, Jack Scott. Finds none. The back heel for Scott. That's the party trick that pleases the crowd. Gearin gets in there with the tackle on Tom Nunn and concedes the free kick. He gets up with a smile, does Luke Gearin, and he's going to go into the book of referee Isaac Wassef. First yellow card of the grand final will be that of Luke Gearin. In the meantime, Tyler Corsten is walking away limping in back play from the previous altercation or the previous collision. Gearin walks away limping. So the free kick from that incident that led to the Luke Gearin booking will be taken here by Tristan Maher. He goes back to Jack Scott. Maher. And now it's the Seagulls with their noses in front who can afford to play the possession game. McCosker with the flick on, cut out by Natter. But that goes straight out of play. Scott, back to Maher. Scott again. Back to Maher on the triangle. And back to Jai Mellor. Mellor pumps it forward. Looking for Tom Nunn. Tom Nunn bustling through. McCosker with the long-range shot. In the meantime, there's another free kick for Tom Nunn being bundled over by Ben Natter from referee Wassef. Gearin now will certainly start another debate on the rules of the game in his inimitable style. And it's more than a debate right now. There's a few players, including Gikas, testing the patience of the man refereeing his 301st game today in the top flight of the SSFA. So here's Tristan Maher then with the free kick. A substitution was being looked at. Ben Riach made his way to the sideline, to the technical area, probably just to get a drink more than anything else. So here's Tristan Maher then with the free kick. Goes to the back post. Headed away this time by James Wood. Copped a knock for his trouble, but there's no foul. Falls this time towards O'Brien. Huertas almost lost that, but gained possession well enough. And the switch of play out wide for Sean Thomas. Well, this is the challenge for this ageing side now. Gearin does well to maintain possession. Sherwin pumps the ball forward and he finds his mark with Darren O'Brien. O'Brien does well to keep it in play. 3 red shirts in the middle to aim at. Here's Sean Thomas. But he wanted too much time. Ball's not out of danger yet though. Here's Huertas and Thomas. First time cross in. Well, marshalled by Jai Mellor and out of there, but not cleared. Gearin. Gikas strong in the tackle. Looking for O'Brien. Almost lost it in the sun that time. O'Brien goes all the way back to Morales. Still 3 now, 4 red shirts in the middle. Looking for Thomas. But Tom Nunn, the goal scorer, doing defensive work this time. And that ball comes out off of Sean Thomas for a throw-in. And the Cronulla Seagulls supporters now can possibly see the finish line. We're inside the last 15 minutes of this grand final in regulation, plus any stoppages that referee Isaac Wassef may want to add. Throw in with Jack Scott, who'll take all the time he can. McCosker. That through ball for the Tom Nunn goal was a beauty. Don't underestimate that. Sherwin now. Joe Sherwin working forward. Corsten. And now O'Brien. O'Brien going back to Gikas. Gikas pumps it forward, but it's headed away by Jack Scott. He works with Tom Nunn. And back to Scott. And he does well to find Tom Nunn getting out of danger. But the ball dispossessed by Gikas. He's got Kobe Sharp all over him. And Kobe Sharp concedes the free kick. Substitution now for the Seagulls. Ben Smith also coming on for the Kangaroos in place of Ben Natter. And here's Aaron Delfino, who played a prominent role in the reserve grade grand final earlier today. asked to come on and do his thing for the last 13 minutes in first grade. Cross is headed away this time by Mellor from the free kick, and it goes out of play for a throw-in. The Kangaroos throw in on that eastern side in front of what is now more than a couple of spectators. It's a fair smattering of them who are bathing in this sunshine, this Sydney spring sunshine on this Sunday afternoon, the 1st of September, first day of spring, this Father's Day. Throw-in's taken short by O'Brien, gets the return back. Wood tries the shot, and it's not too far wide. Out for a goal kick. Of course, we must thank Jum Media, your venue, your go-to venue for your next OB, AV production, big screens, whether it's sporting, whether it's social, community, church. Look no further than Jum Media, www.jummedia, JUMMEDIA.com.au. They've given you the pictures all season long. They can do the right thing by you as substitution is made. It's going to be Nathan Seller to come back on for the closing stages of this grand final, the last 11 minutes. Looking down the barrel now of 2 winners' medals on the same afternoon to go with a man of the match medal as well. Be a bulging trophy cabinet in the Seller household. There's a challenge here from James Wood, and his name's going to go into the book of referee Isaac Wassef for that challenge on Jeremy Lopez. As we draw towards the last 10 minutes of this grand final of regulation, plus any stoppage time that referee Wassef will want to add. So there's the free kick from Riach. There's Seller with the header. Saved by Del Broy on the line. Cleared away by Ben Smith as far as Causton. And eventually goes out of play for a Kangaroos throwing. Well, that's the danger of Nathan Seller getting there at that back post and almost put this grand final to bed. Del Broy forced to make the save. And Del Broy has stayed down. He's up to his feet, though, eventually. Yes, www.jummedia.com.au, or give James a call, 90567177 in business hours, Monday to Friday. 90567177 for your next live streaming, live video, AV, big screen production. It's a pleasure to work with them again this season. Long ball. Headed out of play this time by Darcy Medway. But eventually is cleared away by Riach. Only as far as James Wood. Time running out for the Kangaroos now. They've got to come up with something here. Ben Smith. Caught one from Delfino for his trouble. Referee waited for an advantage. Now he blows up the free kick. Against Delfino, who argues the point. Argued that an advantage was played. Referee Wassef tells him otherwise, and the free kick is taken quickly out wide to Sherwin. If anything, it did the Seagulls a favour by allowing them to set up their defence. Long ball, eventually taken by Andrews, right on the goal line, and eventually the foul is given away against Luke Gearon, who's disgusted with the call. He can't believe it. Referee Wassef waves players away. He's not happy with the descent from Luke Gearon that time. Well, that long, looping, cross-come shot gave Ben Andrews all sorts of trouble. And he fumbled it right on the goal line. The ball hadn't crossed the line. Gearon thought he was in with a shot. When he saw the ball out of Ben Andrews' hands, but referee Wassef stepped in straight away and blew the free kick. Some words been exchanged out there between a number of parties, and referee Wassef very quick to step in and try and calm things down immediately. Ben Andrews and Gearon certainly exchanged words. And they both exchanged words with referee Wassef. But eventually, now Jack Scott's throwing in his tuppence worth. And everyone would be better off getting on with the game, because all that has now done has added stoppage time at the end of this second half. Smith pumps it forward, looking for Kieran. But it falls to Riach. And he pumps forward looking for Seller. He finds Tristan Marr, and he releases Seller out wide. Seller forced back, eventually wins a throw-in. 7 minutes remaining, plus any stoppage time in this grand final. Delbroy makes the ball his from the throw-in and gets the release quickly out wide to Corsten. Now it's Huertas. Huertas stepping through the middle. Rides a couple of challenges, but not the one that counted from Mellor. McCosker. McCosker clipped from behind. No foul there. He eventually carries on, given that he's had those foot injuries and leg injuries for the last 3 months. Delfino, a through ball looking for Seller. Delfino gets in with the challenge on James Wood. That's no foul. Play on. First time shot is shanked by Kobe Sharp. That was the grand final right there for the taking, possibly. The Kangaroos were standing around waiting for a free kick for a challenge on Wood, which wasn't forthcoming from referee Wasef. In the meantime, Kobe Sharp had the shot, which was shanked wide. 3 players go down that time. It's no place for the weak of heart at the moment. Gearan. Huertas now through. Here's Huertas. First time shot is well wide and eventually goes over the byline. And out for a goal kick. 5.5 minutes remaining. Time for one last substitution. Jackson Martin coming on for the Kirrawee Kangaroos to see what he can do in the last 5.5 minutes of this match. Darren O'Brien leaves the field on the far side to allow Martin to come on. Ben Andrews with the goal kick. Clears it away, headed down by Sherwin though. Morales. Players are quite tired though out there now though, particularly those in red shirts. The heat has been a factor. Sherwin has to go back. He's got Kobe Sharp for company, but he turns him around and comes away with the ball. Switch of play, that was a shocker. Finds Delfino. Aaron Delfino. Can he set up a goal similar to what he did in the reserve grade? Not that time he can't. The ball is cleared out of play as we enter the last 5 minutes of this grand final. The Seagulls on the verge of a slice of history here. Taken by Delbroy. He gets it going quickly. He needs to. It's headed down towards Gearan. Luke Gearan trying to get in there. Cleared away by Jai Mellor. Not out of danger though. Morales in with the header. McCosker. He finds Tristan Marr. And the ball is headed down by Sherwin. Out wide to Martin and now Gickas. Gickas doesn't have many options. He links up with Ben Smith. Gickas. Gickas out wide towards James Wood. And he goes out wide. First time cross coming in. Headed away by Jai Mellor. Morales tries the shot. Gearan tries the toe poke. And Ben Andrews makes it his. Gearan despondent almost. Not able to make content as well as he would have liked. Corsten keeps Ben Andrews honest for the clearance. With just on 3 minutes remaining in this grand final. Seller. Tristan Marr goes down in the challenge of Pat Morales. And a free kick goes to the Seagulls that they will take all the time in the world to get through with under 3 minutes remaining plus stoppages in regulation. Free kick is taken quickly, looking out wide for Seller. Seller forced back, and now Jackson Martin can possibly get into the clear. Martin can't get around the challenge met by Medway, cleared away by Andrews again. Headed on now for Seller. It's a 2-on-2 here. But James Wood gets back there and clears it to Delbroy. Up the middle of the field, Gikas. Ball hasn't hit the deck yet. Riach cops one for his trouble from Huertas. Referee waited for an advantage before he blew the foul. Gearan wants to argue the point again in back play, but there's no use winning that argument. Because there's not an argument there to be won. Riach did cop one for his trouble that time. Enough time for one more substitution. Kobe Sharp leaving the field and Tom Nunn coming on. Tom Nunn that scored the goal that has given the Seagulls the advantage, as he did in the major semi-final. Free kick taken by Mellor. Out wide to Nunn, who's got oodles of space with 90 seconds remaining plus stoppage time, unofficially. McCosker, he'll try it from there. Shot is blocked by Morales. Cleared away by Gikas. Gearan and Scott tangle. Smith with the head up. As far as Seller, but Sherwin is there. Sherwin tries to clear, but Riach dispossesses him. Ben Riach, 2 green shirts in the middle to aim at. Cleared away by Wood. Inside the final minute now of this grand final on our unofficial timepiece, plus any stoppage time that referee Isaac Wasef may want to add. It's been an absolute pleasure once again giving you the coverage of football in the SSFA in 2024. Here's Seller working his way forward. Ball crosses the byline out for a goal kick. Last throw of the dice for the Kangaroos now, with 30 seconds plus stoppage time remaining. We've had our moments, like the league has had this year, like the SSFA has had this year. But it's been a privilege and a pleasure to give you these live streaming broadcasts and on-demand replays throughout 2024. They are there on the Jump Media website, on the ShirePremierLeague.com.au website, and the ShireFootball.com.au website for you to look at any time in the summer if you want to relive any of our matches, including this one, and including any of the grand final matches today. Corsten, can he keep the ball in play? 3 minutes of stoppage time is the call from the fourth official, as Maher is brought down. There is no foul here. Well, there's a foul that time against Corsten on Tom Nunn. Crowd baying for a card from referee Isaac Wasef. 2 Seagulls players down from 2 successive challenges. Yellow card for Tyler Corsten. And all that does is just add to the stoppage time that we've now started. So that 3 minutes may now become 4. Referee Wasef, who's had a pretty reasonable game, to be fair, in game number 301, makes an adjustment, and the Seagulls, almost to a man, go for the drinks. It's water now. In a few minutes' time, it might be something a bit stronger if they can hang on here and complete a slice of history. Both players are to their feet that were brought down, including Tom Nunn. Jai Mellor with the free kick, looking for Seller. Back for Tom Nunn. We've already played one of the 3 minutes of stoppage time. McCosker through for Delfino. And Delfino's shot took a deflection, I fancy, taken by Delbroy. And now Gearan comes away as the shadows encroach across Seymour Shore. Is there one last twist for the Kangaroos to pull out of the fire here? Not with that interception by Tom Nunn. Gets around the keeper. This should be it. No, it's cleared off the line desperately by Joe Sherwin. He hasn't given up the ghost yet. Desperate defence from Joe Sherwin, even when all seemed lost. That's what grand finals are all about. Tom Nunn slided in with the interception, but Joe Sherwin said, not on my watch. We will go down swinging. And that's why he's been one of the Kangaroos' best today. Throw-ins taken short to Seller. Tom Nunn links up with Seller. The ball goes out of play for a goal kick. 2 minutes of the 3 minutes of stoppage time have been played. There might be another one for the injuries earlier. at the start of stoppage time. Delbroy gets the clearance away. It's headed down towards Ben Smith. Don't forget the presentations will be on all of these websites, jummedia.com.au, shirefootball.com.au, shirepremierleague.com.au, including the presentation of this grand final shortly as part of the on-demand package that is available. Here's Corsten, cleared away though by Jack Scott. James Wood works his way forward, wrestles his opponent to the ground. No free kick, there's an advantage being played possibly as Riach finds McCosker. He might just take it to the corner and run down the clock as we enter the 4th minute of stoppage time. McCosker goes all the way back. And the Seagulls doing it nicely on their way to the finish line here. Riach, 2 red shirts around him, dispossessed by Gearin. Is there one last miraculous piece of play though here? Tristan Marr though, dispossessed by Wood. And Wood tries to pump it forward, and it's only headed down to Tom Nunn. Gikas. Now Hurtas to Sean Thomas. Sean Thomas works his way forward. Rides a challenge. Hurtas. Nearly 4 minutes of stoppage time played. Backheel by Mellor. Falls to Morales. Still we go. Morales out wide though. That ball will probably end up going out of play. Jackson Martin keeps it in play. The referee blows an offside flag. A free kick against Jackson Martin, who got into an offside position. The crowd thought it was the final whistle. Not yet, it isn't, as we enter the 5th minute of stoppage time at the end of the second half. It's been our pleasure, though, at Jum Media to give you this action, and if the SSFA think we are worthy, we will be more than happy to come back in 2025 as referee Isaac Wassef blows the final whistle. The Cronulla Seagulls make it 38 games without defeat over 18 months. They make it back-to-back Shire Premier Leagues to go with their back-to-back Bill Cullinan State Cups. And they are clearly the best local amateur team of any sport in any code in the Shire right now, bar none. Their record proves it. And they were asked serious questions today when Luke Gearin got the opening goal late in the first half from the free kick. But Jack Scott equalised with a pinpoint header close to half-time. And then a Luke McCosker through ball to salivate over, found Tom Nunn midway through the second half, and he has scored the goal, as he did in the major semi-final a fortnight ago, and as he did in last year's State Cup final that has decided this first grade premiership in 2024. My name is Tony Dawson. Blake is on camera and on buttons. We thank you for your company in the SSFA in 2024. We look forward to seeing you again, hopefully, if we're allowed to come back in 2025. The final score in the 2024 Men's Premier League First Grade Grand Final here at Seymour Shore for the SSFA on the Green Options Green by Nature scoreboard. Enjoy your summer. Hope you're back the winner of the Melbourne Cup. Enjoy the A-League, and hopefully we'll catch you in March. The final score in the Grand Final, Cronulla Seagulls 2. Congratulations to them, and good luck in the Champion of Champions tournament in the next 6 weeks. Cronulla Seagulls 2, Kirrawee Kangaroos 1. Bye-bye from Seymour Shore.